Hi, everybody. Uh-oh.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your show.
Steve, I woke up before my hours are all messed up. It's great to be back, by the way. Welcome to
Oh
Valley.
yeah, welcome back. We got a lot to talk about.
So much. And dude, so we did a Black Friday. God, we did a Black. Jeez.
The new cat.
Yeah, sorry, new cat. We got a Black Friday deal for an espresso machine, and it's the kind with like a steam wand, with
Ooh.
I've never used it. I've never been a barista before. It's very
Can I ask you
complicated.
how many times you have burned yourself, or do you anticipate burning yourself?
I did burn myself this morning with the steam. I'm like, oh, it's hot. But I did like four. Like I kept testing it, and then I would drink it, and then while setting it up, had a cup of coffee because my hours are all messed up. So I'm waking up at like 4:40 right now.
Oh, so at 4:40, what time was that where you were?
That would have been like noon or 1 or something.
Wow.
So
So you're
slowly
just like,
adjusting.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm all buzzed from this espresso. So
Oh shit! So you're
How
just
are you?
raring to go.
Yeah.
Dude, it's early, but like I live in this new spot. I live in Long
Yeah.
Beach now, and
How is it?
it's been quite an adventure so far, and a big change. Like I'm used to just my couch, my depression, the
Mhm.
blanket that is mostly soaked with tears,
And other things.
and other things. And I've gotten rid of all of those things. I have no couch.
How long were you in your last place?
9 years.
That's insane. Yeah, where were you before? Oh, were you
Before that was the hellish bachelor pad with
Oh, right,
Will
right.
and Darren and Sam.
Yeah, that place. I remember that place.
Dude, let me put this into perspective a little bit. While I was living in Sherman Oaks in the
Uh-huh.
Valley, I was still working at SourceFed. Like there was still
Yeah.
SourceFed.
I was still married.
You were still married. I was pretty freshly divorced.
Yeah, you were. And I was just right behind you.
You were right behind me. It's all right. And Joe's any minute now.
God, I mean, I
From
I
what
think
he's
that's why
been
he's not
telling
here
us.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, he's finally doing it. And good luck. And honestly, Heather's she's getting the benefit. She's benefiting from it more than Joe is.
Let me ask you, do you feel disconnected from your friends now that do you feel a sense of distance now that
I
you're in For those who
feel-
don't know, Long Beach
yeah.
is probably like what, an hour from where you were?
Yeah. Yep.
Not that many miles, but Los Angeles, and you're more in like Los Angeles. Like
So I
Long
read,
Beach is-
yeah. Well, this is still Los Angeles, but it's like, which is comforting. But I read something the other day that said you have to drive 45 minutes to get to Los Angeles in Los Angeles.
yeah, that's good.
Like
Love it.
it's that's the most accurate way to like kind of put into the fewest words of how like ridiculous the
Mhm.
traffic and overpopulation and just how difficult it is. Like I really don't live that much further away from where I was. Like I keep thinking and feeling like it is, but truthfully, Elliot, I feel so far away from everybody. I feel like
I would, yeah.
it's crazy. And it was like a really like scary and it was a hard decision to make to do this. It was a really
Really?
hard decision to make to do this. Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like it's getting to the point where I can't really survive on like where I was living alone, without
Yeah.
some help or a roommate or something like that. Or hundreds of thousands of dollars suddenly making their way into my bank account.
It'll
So it
happen.
was like a decision of necessity as well as like, life change and moving in with my girlfriend. And, it has been quite a different situation. But I think if you're like in the same place for 9 years and like, a lot of things have happened during that time for me. But if you're in like the same spot for like ever, and it seems like you're never going to get out of the situation, and like maybe you're comfortable in that situation, but you know that it would be better for your life and more beneficial for your mental health and all those things to just kind of like try a new thing and try getting out of that and trying an entirely new thing. I think it is worth exploring, even if you don't need to. And you're like, because I had all those feelings of like, I love where I'm at, I love my little balcony, and I love being walkable to a movie theater and to record dynamic banter with Mike, and all of those things that were really comfortable and nice. Made me kind of like not want to leave, obviously, and this situation kind of forced me out of those comfortable feelings, and now I'm just in this situation where here I am, and I gotta at least be here for a year because that's how fucking renting and leasing and all that shit works.
When you say it was a difficult decision, did it take you, do you mean it took a while for you to make, as in you were going back and forth, or like you knew it was the right decision, but it was still difficult to actually pull the trigger on it?
Well, my girlfriend and I were like discussing living together for a while, and and talking about how much easier it would be to survive with dual incomes, and sharing a rent and in some convenient location, because she lived in Anaheim and I lived in the Valley, and so that kind of commute to just see each other really sucked. And so we were like, well, let's find some place between those places that would make it easier for us to see each other. And so that decision made it easy, but what I mean when I say that it was like a really hard decision to make was like, because we started looking and then we found this particular place pretty quickly, and I didn't really expect to find a place that would like end up being our place so fast. And so it didn't really give me time to like consider that I was gonna lose all this stuff. I was gonna lose this comfortable place I lived in. So that was the really tough decision. And yeah, it kind of came down to like, maybe we should just forget about this place and just keep looking. But the more we did that, the more it felt like we were just throwing money into an incinerator, without sharing a rent together. And so it just like, there were just all these factors that made it necessary, but really difficult. Because I mean, the friend thing especially, dude, like it's like gonna be really isolating out here, even though it's like really not that fucking far.
Yeah, it's just mentally.
And people already are hard to like pull out of their homes.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just doesn't happen here. That's just like it just doesn't happen here. It's hard to do.
When you walked out of your old place for the last time, did you feel a sense of,
dude, it was weird.
Did you get emotional?
It was weird. I thought I would get emotional, but instead I just kind of like stood in the darkness of the apartment because, all the lights were gone and all the things that lit up the place were all packed away and in the new place. And do you remember that finale of Fresh Prince? The last episode of Fresh Prince?
Yeah, when he's like standing in there by himself.
Yeah, that like I just couldn't help but feel, fucking, we're so media trained. We're so it's just baked into my brain. Like I was walking along the beach the other day and I was singing the like the Nestle jingle. Like nice. I was like singing it out loud, and I was like, can't I just disconnect for a second and just enjoy nature? And like, like I don't need this consumerism that has infected my brain to also infect me while I'm in nature and I'm in a place where I should just be thinking about nature.
Yeah, we're inundated. Well, congratulations. It sounds like you're growing as a person, Steve. And I hate to say that,
Elliot. I am.
I know it's not good news and no one likes it, but
it's definitely going to be a huge adjustment, and but I'm gonna set up this room here, and I'm gonna start streaming again really soon because I need to like connect with people and familiarity, and setting up this area is like my priority because I definitely want to get back to like the things that I did in my 9 years in Sherman Oaks. I want to like reconnect with those things here and see if it works.
Is that a dedicated room you're in right now? Like, do you have your
It
own kind of
is.
space where you're okay? So it's not
Yeah.
like all the spaces are shared or like your
No,
girl.
no, it's actually like quite a big place. It's like a
Cool.
two-story little like townhouse condo kind of thing.
Nice.
And yeah, we have our own spaces, we have our own offices, and yeah, I just gotta work in here, you know. Like I'm probably gonna do some painting maybe, and I'm gonna like do some
Wow.
rearranging, and yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I just need to get to a point where I can kind of get back to the things that that make me happy, and then, dude, it's also crazy because I'm like I desperately want to get back to finding the things that made me comfortable and happy while I was living in the valley, but I also have this overwhelming feeling of like I need to go out and explore.
Yeah. It'll make you feel like you're part of the community, which will make you feel more like home when you walk out and you
Exactly.
learn the area. Is it walkable? Do
Exactly.
you have
It's
like
totally walkable.
that's
Yeah, it's
nice?
not as walkable as where I was,
Yeah,
but there's also like scooters everywhere, and it's
cool.
like it's really alive over here. Like it feels
Nice.
very alive, and I just love not I feel like I'm not as much in a concrete jungle as I was,
Hmm.
and it feels more like there's a little bit more nature and natural things rather than just human built shit everywhere.
Nice to have a beach there. That's pretty cool.
Dude, it's so nice, Elliot. Like I grew up in Oxnard, pretty close to the beach. My parents took us to the beach all the time.
Yeah.
You know, learned how to swim at a young age, and so, you know, as someone who's like basically like a goth, little like
Pussy.
afraid of the sun
Right.
kid, you know, I really do like find calmness and joy at the beach. You know, so it's
Dude,
nice to be
you
close to it
should
again.
it would be the coolest, most badass thing if you were to in your individuation process that you're going through right now, which is typically an unconscious process that happens for some people who can't become more conscious. But if you were to, as part of your growth, get a wetsuit and a longboard, a surfboard,
Could you imagine?
and learn to surf, can you imagine the pictures? You would look like the coolest guy.
It would be really cool. And just get like more tattoos and grow my hair out
Yeah.
long again and just be like, let's go. I'm a surfer boy
Or a
now.
shell necklace or whatever they do.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
puka shells. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just do like a 90s version of like a beach boy, a surfer
Yeah.
guy.
I think that's a great idea, and I look forward to your
I
episode.
do love those ideas. I love the idea of like leaning really hard into something that like is not me at all and just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going for it. Like I used to have a fun idea that I would like learn how to like dance really, really well. Like just take dance classes and just
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
right and
I
then
dream of that too.
and suddenly just busting out like amazing dance moves.
I've been thinking like I want to do a like even just those stupid TikTok dances I would like to
Yeah.
learn how to do.
Yeah. It can't
But
be
like
that
have
hard.
no, it can't be. I mean, the TikTok dances seem like they're literally like paint by numbers, but to be
Oh
able to just
yeah.
actually dance is pretty cool.
It makes me yeah, it looks so much fun, and it, you know, and people are impressed by it, and you know that's what life's about, impressing people and showing them that
Yep.
you're not a boring pleb. You don't blend in with the crowd. You're like fun and cool and
Yeah.
approachable.
Yeah. The point of things is that other people look at you and go, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is the point of it. That's the
It
point of
is.
all of this.
Yeah.
All right, well, fuck my dumb shit. Let's talk about your awesome trip you just went on, man.
Yeah, crazy, dude. It
You
is.
happy to be back?
I am happy to be back. We had an awesome time. We went to Dublin, then London, and then from London we went to Budapest, and then which is pronounced Budapest.
Oh
And
shit. Was that hard to like remember and like get right?
a little bit, yeah. And then there's Vienna. Ooh, that is beautiful. And we went to
Mm.
Prague. And in Vienna and Budapest, there were a bunch of Christmas markets. That was very cool. Now, I'll go in chronological order. First of all, it's an insane trip. Like, I've never had a trip like this. Is crazy. I mean, I didn't
Really?
even
Like this is the biggest
Yeah.
biggest trip you've ever been on.
like two big suitcases, planes, trains,
Automobiles.
automobiles.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip of Steve Martin when he's looking through the script from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and he starts crying?
No.
Oh, really? It's part of
That's
his documentary. It's really a sweet moment, but he's like in his office and he takes this script out and he starts reading the monologue that John Candy originally had in the script, but they cut it down and
oh
like just
shit.
one or two lines, and he starts reading and he just starts like crying. It's really beautiful.
Holy shit. Like at the end when he's like pouring his heart out and telling him about his dead
Yep.
wife and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
like how he
God.
latches on to people and really beautiful. But um so we did Dublin. It was me and Grace, and then we went with Chip and Mamrie to Dublin and London, and then we did a show in Dublin, two shows in London. All of them were sold out, which was really
Oh,
cool.
that's
Uh,
incredible.
Met a bunch of really great people and viewers and fans of various, whether it was Mamrie
Oh.
or Grace or Valleyfolk and SourceFed. It was really
Oh,
cool.
that's so sweet. Isn't that sweet to venture out into the world and get us this nice little reminder that like people really liked our shit. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people watched our shit and they liked it and they're all over the world.
it's nuts. And
Yeah.
they some people traveled from like different countries just to go to like I think people were coming from like Scandinavia
Whoa, just to see you
areas.
guys, to see Grace and see
Yeah,
and yeah.
it was really cool. And so that was fun. And we did that. And then we did a bunch of, dude, it was like we did a went to the Freud Museum. That was cool. And then we did like
Whoa, that was
uh
exciting. Is that something that was on your list or something or
yeah, Vienna is where Freud lived, and he had to leave the house because of the Nazis. I don't know if you've
yeah.
heard of them.
Heard of
And
them. Actually, let me do a little wiki search on these
yeah,
guys
go
really
ahead,
quick because
look
I
them
keep
up. It's
hearing the name and I
not good.
don't really know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they're sort of
go.
like
I'll just do it in the background. You keep
just
going.
get figured out. And we went to a also on that note a Holocaust museum, which was pretty insane, and that was
Whoa.
very somber. We did that in Prague, and then just went around and did a bunch of stuff, and then like Grace got sick basically immediately, and then she got me
Aw.
sick, and so the
Aw.
first half was kind of bad. But yeah, after that we felt great, and then came back and flew back on Thanksgiving, which is a little bit of a life hack that I highly recommend.
Yeah.
But it was really beautiful, great
Be-
experiences.
and so, and did you make like a list of things before you left that you're like, these are things that I want to do? Or were you like, I'm just along for the ride and, if there's time, I'll check out some shit?
Mostly that we're kind of chill when it comes to like coming up with plans. I wanted to do the Freud Museum because I like Freud, and then that was kind of like a tentpole thing. But besides that, it was like we'd wake up and go like, all right, what do we want to do? We'll walk around. We used a travel agent, which was crazy. You ever done
Nice.
that before?
I've looked into it and it seems so good. It seems
It's
like
really
probably
nice.
the only way to do it if you're gonna do
Yeah,
like multiple countries like that or like
yeah.
yeah.
Because we did a train ride that one of them like the trains was so cool, dude. They have like a restaurant bar car that you can go to and like get up out of your seat and just like walk wherever you want to walk between the cars, and like we found a booth and they serve you food and you can grab like a beer and then just like look at the countryside.
Oh my
uh
God.
Really amazing. And so in the dude Vienna, I mean all the places were beautiful. Prague was like a mixture of Vienna and Budapest, and I'm probably people who are familiar with these areas, I'm an idiot, so I'm sure that they might disagree, but my impression was that Prague was like this mixture of, there's like still kind of cool street art and some spray paint. It looks like more lived in. Vienna was like the most pristine place I've ever been in. And the whole time
Really?
Grace and I kept being like, this feels like Disneyland, but like real. Like, when you go to Disney and there's all these kind of beautiful areas that are clearly Disneyfied and
Yeah, it's
like
like super
fake.
maintained and like and yeah, and like it seems like it's designed purposefully to be like a beautiful.
Yeah. And we would like we'd walk around a corner in Vienna, and then it would be like another ancient cathedral or like
Oh
giant
my
castle or
God.
something. And we'd be like, whoa, look at that. And it's really amazing. And so it was a nice, it was very, what a blessing.
Would you go back? I mean, I'm sure you
Mhm.
would, but like, is that something you plan to do, or you're just like, oh, I'd love to someday, and then probably won't, and we'll die and never go back?
Yeah, I think we'll probably, if anything, it made us go like, oh, we're capable of traveling, because we felt very nervous and like it's overwhelming to like walk around and not know languages and not know
Yeah.
like the currencies would change, the time zones would change. And so it's kind of like it kind of gets, it is like exhausting after a while, but the pace we went at helped a lot. And so now it's just like, oh, we can do this, we can actually travel and not rip each other's faces off or anything.
Oh, that's good. So it was also kind of a little test to see if you could do something like this.
Yeah, like an adult thing. It felt very like an adult. And we'd be like, oh, we have to be here, and we're gonna, dude, you know what helps so much was Chat GPT.
Really? What the fuck?
I would like take PDFs of like our train tickets that were in different languages and just upload it and be like, can you explain what we're supposed to do here and what like what seats we're in and what we do step by step. And it would be like, you want to get there 40 minutes before, you're going to go to car 26, you're going to go to a car with the number 1 on it, you're going to put your bags on this area of the car.
Like, and it was so accurate helpful. It was right. Like there was no like, this is outdated, this isn't correct. It was like
not that it hasn't done that in other areas, but for these purposes, our purposes, it was very, very helpful. And dude,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead after you.
Well, I was gonna say that of all my anxieties and things, like I would have so much anxiety about a lot of things in those situations. But one thing that I could think of right away that would like make me anxious would be like, what am I gonna do with all my luggage?
Mm-hmm.
Like, were you like dragging your luggage through places and feeling like, man, I really wish I wasn't dragging my luggage through this place right now? Like,
yeah, when we landed in Prague and got off the train, I looked at the map and I was like, oh, babe, we're like a 5-minute walk to the hotel. I was like, this is great. We don't need to catch an Uber.
You just walk. Yeah,
I'll just walk. But all of the roads are like old cobblestone roads.
Oh, so you're trying to roll your carts.
Yeah, it's like I would carry like the big suitcases that were like exactly like 50 pounds or whatever, because we kept having to switch things around because you get charged more if it's heavy. But like, yeah, I was walking through that at one point and I was like, and they're like all uphill and downhill.
Oh,
and it's the loudest thing, and it's like just us walking down the street being like
and you're like, sorry, and you're like, I'm disrupting this beauty with this luggage, this American trash rolling through.
Right. Yeah. You wonder, we're tourists.
Yeah, exactly. Are we tourists? That's the number one way to prove you're a tourist is lugging like too much luggage. Yep. And even though it's like a 5-minute walk, it probably felt like forever dragging all that shit, right?
It really did. Yeah. It was the longest 5-minute walk of my life, but still cool and fun. And when you get in there, they're like, welcome to the
man. And with cute, with wonderful accents and stuff, and and you just feel like you're in a different land.
Except I will say, when in Vienna, there was a stark switch on that first train ride from Budapest to Prague, or Budapest to Vienna, where like the accents changed to German, or like German sounding, and very
it's aggressive.
It's an aggressive sounding accent when you're not used to it, and it also like a lot of people. It just made me feel like I was always talking like Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Basterds,
right?
Like kind of. So it was like, oh, that's a harsh accent, and people there aren't necessarily like the nicest people. They're not like bubbly, and because they've been through a lot in those parts, like a lot of wars.
Yeah,
and so they have a kind of like people told us beforehand and gave advice of like, don't take it personally, like these people aren't really mad at you, but that doesn't I still have that thing of like, you hate me, like it's getting used to just being like, I'm gonna sound like an idiot, and a lot of like pointing at things on menus and instead of trying to say them
and be like, I'll have this one.
yeah
And you could read the menus. The menus were some of the menus kind of like, whatever, man, let's just eeny meeny miny mo this shit.
Also, ChatGPT, I would take a photo of the menu and
so
be like,
wonderful.
Translate it, and it would suddenly I'd be like, okay, this is perfect. So
dude, what would we do if we didn't have everyone was like scared of AI, and I understand like the whole there's a lot of AI stuff. I mean, we've talked about this before. To me, it's like AI is like scary in some ways, and I understand some people are worried about their jobs and their careers and things like that. But it's like, just imagine needing something that AI provides for you very easily and getting that easily, and how much easier it will be to travel with AI.
Yeah. And it's like having a little assistant. And I've also heard about like concerns and environmental concerns about AI and like the amount of water it uses and all that stuff, and I totally sympathize with it. And I also am guilty of just being like, yeah, I'm still gonna.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, so there's nothing we could do to stop it.
Right. I don't
And
know that how anyone's gonna slow it down.
you can't. And you can't just be like, you know what? I'm just not going to support that. You know, like that's how you do it. You don't support it and then you live your life without it. And everyone around you is living this like futuristic, convenient lifestyle. And you're the one that's just like struggling, not adopting this thing. And it's like, look, I get it. It's destroying, like, if it's destroying the environment, that's awful. But like think about all the things we do every day that destroy the environment that if we like suddenly stop doing, we'd have to completely change our lives in a way that is almost impossible to like try to not participate in anymore. So it's
Totally.
like I don't know what to do, Elliot. It's totally like it's a big problem to be like I want to do the right thing all the time. But
Yeah.
it's so hard to do the right thing all the time when they make it hard to do the right thing all the time.
They do, and I think that the corporate kind of pressure on the individuals to be the ones who carry the weight. I think we should be as environmentally friendly as individuals as we can, but like,
Sure.
yeah, at the end of the day, there's like, this is decades of deregulation and massive corporations that have been able to destroy the environment and unleash PR campaigns to convince individuals that we're the ones that need to just recycle and everything will be fine.
Right.
When they're just like doing atrocities constantly.
Well, yeah, and I always think about how like we're always told to like, only use the AC during these hours when it's hot in the summer and
Yeah, the California thing.
Yeah, and only use this much water and shit.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else is doing this. Am I going to be the only one in this neighborhood that's actually doing this? And then
Yeah.
I'm the one that's like hot as fuck and like dirty because I can't take a shower and like
Yeah.
I just don't. It's so hard to participate in society when it feels like nobody gives a shit. you know, you know.
Yeah, that is very true.
God, and even more so. It's so crazy, man. What do we do, Elliot? How do we live? Like, we can't. How do we? How do we live a more environmentally conscious lifestyle when we're being pressured to not to just participate in the destruction of this planet with everybody else?
I think you're doing it when you take walks on the beach.
That's
It's
true.
re-enchanting you, which gives you a better connection, and then that leads,
That's a good point, dude. One less
You're killing
car on the road, one less.
yeah, that and just like being around, feeling the sand and the water and just being like, okay, this is nice. And then
Just like appreciating things that, yeah.
then it makes the nature less abstract and less of an idea, and it makes the more about the connection that you have. So it's not a moral decision, it's a
Personal,
respectful.
yeah, respectful,
But
dude.
also I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot you don't know.
I don't know.
Dude, I was reading this thing that said, because there was this post on this Disney World subreddit that they were it was someone posting while they were on the ride while it shut down, and they said the ride was shut down because somebody dumped cremains all over the ride. And this happens, people this happens all the time. And people talk about like I want my ashes spread at Disneyland, or I want my ashes spread here or there or whatever. But the thing they don't realize is that like if you spread your ashes at Disneyland, you're just going to end up in the garbage. Your ashes will end up in the garbage because they send cleaners in, and it's really fucked up, by the way, because it's, you're basically like dusting crumbled up bones, ashed up bone fragments, and you're forcing people to kind of like walk around in it or breathe it in or whatever. And it's like, but the person that was posting about it was saying, I can't think of a worse way to leave someone that you actually cared about. Even though it's a nice thought to be like, yeah, their ashes will be at Disneyland, and maybe there's some mystical thing where their ghost will haunt Disneyland, and that's wonderful. They love Disneyland or Disney World or whatever. It is a lovely thought, but the reality is that it gets vacuumed up and goes into the garbage, and that's that. And then it'll leave Disney property, and your loved one will be garbage somewhere in Florida, some landfill or something, or become compost or something.
Yep.
And it sparked this discussion about like, spreading remains and what you want to do with remains and things like that. And a lot of people were like, I want my ashes buried with a tree, and I want to like help that tree grow. I want my nutrients to help the tree grow and shit like that. And someone jumped in and was like, I hate to be that guy, but once you're cremated, once you're
no
like
nutrients, right?
There's zero
Your ash.
You're ash, and you're actually a detriment to the growth of some living thing.
That is a great example of being that guy.
It's like the Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But it's good to know these things because, I always thought about how, like, being buried in a coffin and then being buried in the ground in a grave seems so expensive and a waste of space. And, we're already overpopulated. Like, we're going to have to start doing shit that New Orleans does. New Orleans has started stacking bodies in the walls. Like, literally, because it's like there's no more room in the ground. There's no more like, land. And you're essentially, when you buy a grave, you're buying land.
Yep.
To like be in for plot. Eternity. Yeah, you're buying like a plot of land, and it's like, man, how wasteful, and like what a waste of space. This could be some beautiful park or something. And so I always try to think of some way to be like not just like a big gross waste of space burden on society by being just like buried in some plot somewhere. And so I always thought, like, I want to be a plant or a tree, or I want to, make me something that will be useful for like the growth of something that will at least help people get oxygen or food or thrive for animals and shit like that. So you do think about ways to be like useful as a dead body somehow, and not just like a waste of space. And so what that proved was that if you want to be useful as a dead body, if you want to like supply nutrients for some trees or something, like there is a process where you basically become fertilizer. But it's not the process of burning your body into ash. It's like a different process that combines you with things that would then be helpful to the environment or helpful for something like that. And that post made me think about how, well, I guess you can't just dump my ashes under a tree and think it'll help that tree. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, my goal is to have every part cremated except for my head, save the skull, use the cremated ashes to use lab made diamonds and form my ashes into 2 small sapphire diamonds, place those diamonds in the eye sockets of my skull, and put that on a mantle so I can watch my family and grandchildren throughout the generations.
And the diamonds are the conduit from the other side,
right?
And diamonds are the only way.
I thought you for sure would have seen that meme. That is a plagiarized idea.
Wait, what? I did not see that.
Also on Reddit, it's this woman being like, am I the asshole for not wanting to do this to my husband's cremations? And it's like, my husband has a really specific thing he wants to have happen, and it's keep the skull, make diamonds, put the diamonds in the eyes.
Dude, come on. That's ridiculous. I do love the idea of being like, because, I always try to think of like, what's the fun way to be like a dead person? Like, could I be like a taxidermy? Like, is there a way for me to be, and why would I want to be and why would anybody want me to be a taxidermy? And who would want the responsibility of like displaying or like keeping me, preserved or whatever?
I'm just writing down what's the fun way to be a dead person.
What's the title? What is a fun way to be a dead person? Like, I've
what
always
ride?
thought. What do you mean? What ride?
At Disney World.
Oh, it was Haunted Mansion. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, that's funny.
Somebody said that they wanted to be They wanted their cremains to be flushed down the toilet of a resort hotel at Disney, at Disney World, so that they could then be a part of the irrigation system and then be like actually spread throughout, because they recycle the water and they use it in certain areas of the park or whatever. But someone was
Does that mean
saying,
you think people have done that? Does that mean that when you're there?
well, yeah, I think so. I think anything you could think of, any way you could think of sneakily leaving the remains or cremains of someone at like a very popular destination has probably been attempted or done successfully or not.
I think you put it on a seat in Muppets 3D because they're never going to get that out.
Dude. Just, you know those videos that like suddenly are gone? The ones where like there'd be like a chunk taken out of a wall or a chunk taken out of something, and they'd get like ramen and they'd like put a piece of ramen there and then like sand it down and then like paint it. And like what if someone took like one of your bones and then like chopped off the seat a little bit of something and then like stuck it in there, and then like that would be the way to do it, I guess. Not in Muppet Vision, though, man. That's too soon to talk about Muppet Vision.
Is it?
No, you didn't hear?
I thought it was staying.
It's not staying.
That sucks.
This is recent information. They're removing it. It will be destroyed, and they're putting in like Monsters Land or some Monsters Inc. shit, and it's gonna be part of Monstropolis or some dumb shit. And then, but I think the way to like calm the audience and calm the fans, there was a trade-off. They're turning the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster into an Electric Mayhem Muppet roller coaster.
All right, that'll be cool.
That's cool.
I still like the theater. I feel like Muppets belong in a theater, like that kind of environment where they're doing a show. And
I know.
I love when you had the big fluffy guy that comes out.
I know. Sweetums would come out, and it was such a 4D experience.
Really
was. It was like, you got the screen happening, and then you got like the water effects and wind and shit, and then you got the animatronics and the penguin orchestra and.
One of the things that we effed up on was we thought, Grace and I, that when it was Halloween, we were thinking about going to like Oogie Boogie Bash or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we were like way late on the tickets. And I was like, well, why don't we get tickets for like one of the Christmas things? Since, you have to buy them so far in advance. And Grace accidentally got tickets to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which is in Orlando.
Oh, you thought it was going to be Disneyland.
Yeah. So like, I was like, oh, we're going to come back and we're going to see all these Christmas markets. And then we're going to go to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It's going to be so Christmassy and so cute. It's going to be adorable. And then I was like, wait a minute. I've never heard of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party being at Disneyland. I've only ever seen it and been there at Disney World. And sure enough, that's where the tickets were, and you can't transfer them to Disneyland. But we called
Yeah. So are you guys going to go to Disney World and like make it happen?
We called them, and they were, after saying they hoped we'd been having a magical day, they informed us that we can keep the tickets for like as long as possible, and just like 5 years from now be like, hey, we never used these, and as long as we have the confirmation number, they'll let us in. So it's all
that's
fine.
Nice. That would make me have a magical day.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's fine. And but also I was really disappointed because I love Mickey's Very Merry. Have you done that before?
No, I don't know anything about it. What is it?
It's Magic Kingdom, and it's like one of those parties where it's after hours, and then they give you like free hot chocolate and cookies everywhere.
Man.
And it's like snow and like Christmas. Everyone's in Christmas parades.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I guess
I don't even know if Disneyland. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
It is what it is, dude. Whatever. I'm sorry I brought it up.
I mean, like. Sometimes we just have to get out, like, if there's things bothering us in our lives, it's really hard to hold it back when it's like the most extreme feelings, and it's
one of the worst things that could happen to somebody.
It's much healthier to let it out, and no matter how severe or horrible it is, like, let it out, man. You're amongst friends, the listeners of the Valleycast and myself.
Thank you.
This is the place to do it if you're going to vent on something really horrible like that.
Can I tell you something about Europe?
Yeah, tell me everything about Europe.
This might be controversial.
Okay. And then I have some
It's
questions about Europe as well that I'd like to throw in
great.
the mix if there's time.
I how do I word this? You're familiar with like facial reconstruction and Botox and the
Oh
like.
yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's everywhere.
Now, what I heard, and I could have been misinformed, but my understanding, and it matches with what I saw in Europe, is that we here in the States have a little bit more, not to use this word again, regulation around that stuff.
We
And
do. I didn't know that.
they, my understanding is, do not have as many
Oh, I'd
regulations.
love to know what you mean by that.
There are maybe I don't go out enough in LA to see this, but the amount there are people walking around that like you can just get Botox from a friend and they'll just like go to town on you. And so there were people constantly where like I would be kind of like, whoa, you did too much.
Oh,
And
to more of a degree than here.
yeah. That was my
Oh,
experience, like of being like, oh, you got to tone this down, and it made me a little concerned because I'm like, this is so getting so popular with the Kardashians, this kind of look that a lot of people are going for with the, very large lips and
yeah.
very kind of like the face.
Very unnatural.
Yes, and like to the point of that's almost, I guess, what they're going for. So yeah, it was wild. I'm like
But
uh,
shocking, like shocking.
shocking. Yeah,
Like I
and hey, do whatever you want. I just like,
totally
what's it
do
going to be
it.
40 years when like, is that, and
Yeah.
why is that the go-to look right now?
Well, it's interesting. Like I think about that a lot too, because it's like it's hard to deny that there are a lot of people that alter their person their what's the word I'm looking for?
Appearance.
Their appearance. They alter their appearance because insecurities or potentially a status thing, like like I
Mm-hmm.
was unhappy with the way I looked, so I had the money to afford to change those things, and this is a visual representation of the wealth that I have, or
Yeah.
or whatever it is. But I
Societal pressures.
societal pressures, all of those things, all understandable, all I get it. Like if I somehow had more money than I knew what to do with, I'm sure I would eventually do something that was
Sure.
like, oh yeah, because I'd have some doctor go like, hey, I noticed that those bags under your eyes are looking a little, we could take care of that. We could take care of it. Like that's just your
Oh yeah.
natural. Yeah, we'll take care of that, and it'll look natural, and it'll be whatever. And
Which I think is great.
sure, whatever, do whatever the fuck you want, right? It's your money, it's your life. You do whatever the fuck you want, and do it. Like I don't want to be angry. I don't want to get angry about it. There's no reason to get angry about
Mm-mm.
it. There's literally a reason to be angry about this
There you go.
blurriness.
You're
Though.
back.
There we go. But it made me think about how societally it would change like attraction
Mm-hmm.
and
Standards
change.
of beauty
Yeah.
shifting.
Yeah, like it's shifting the standards of beauty, which might not be super concerning because, if you think about what the standards of beauty were like 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, there's all sorts of like changes and people just
Yep.
change gradually and whatever. But the idea that this is a medically induced change and not necessarily a natural change
Right.
has me worried that because really the side effect of things like that is that these young kids think that that's something to aspire to,
Right.
a complete change in your appearance. There's something you're unhappy about that you were born with. You can change that. And there are a bunch of risks associated with doing that in general, risks associated with surgeries, elective surgeries, and things like that. But it worries me about what it does to young people and turning the tide for attraction and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it'll get to a point where natural beauty is like no longer a thing that people aspire to grow into.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because it's like, I think if you have something on your face or body and you don't like it, you go with God and you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But there is like, I think a an overcorrection where it's like, you're not course correcting, you're kind of just, you're going like real far and extreme to the point that it's kind of cartoonish, and it's like a caricature of what a human would look like. And
Right.
nothing against these folks. I wonder too, like, there is societal pressure. I think there's a lot of doctors out there who are going, oh, well, we can do that, but once you do that, I don't know. I mean, my worry is that there would be like an addictive quality to it, where you're
Yeah,
just
it
like,
does seem like there is an addictive quality to it. Like
very
almost like
lucky to
getting
be
a
dudes.
tattoo. We are so lucky to be dudes. Because we can get old and get an age, and there's like a ooh, silver fox, or oh, this guy's
Right.
a, whatever. But there is the whole cougar thing, which is like,
Mhm.
something that is societally like accepted as like as a beauty standard, like, ooh, this is a cougar, and cougars get young boys and still enjoy their like, their youth in their own way.
Yep.
But there's just that whole thing about like, especially celebrities. Like you see them on screen now, and you're like, whoa, that is that's that person? Like, whoa, like I do not remember them looking like that.
Mhm.
And then you just kind of go like, okay, well that was their choice, that was their decision. But you can't help but be like, man, and again, like this is my own like insecurities probably too, and whatever else, and me wanting things to be the way that I want them to be. But it's like I would love to see what this person looked like aging naturally, and like,
Right.
like there was a time where you could like watch these classic stars age and then get really old, and you're like, whoa, they're really old. But you're like, but that's we're all gonna get old. So it's nice to see that, even these super rich people can't avoid getting old, and now that's like they're paying to avoid
Yep.
getting old.
Well, fear death. Love
Yeah.
it. Speaking of our moms, do you find cougars more as you age? Are you more attracted to older women?
You
Like
know
in my
what, man?
20s, when I was like
Yeah.
21, 22, I wouldn't think I would find many like 45-year-olds attractive.
Yeah, you're
But
right. You're right.
now I'm like, yeah, I have no problem.
Well, I think it's like, for me personally, like I really do love a natural aging look, and for men and women, and for whoever, like it's just something I prefer. Everyone has their preferences and shit. You can't fault people for having their preferences. I'm not hating on anybody. Um but you look at like a Salma Hayek,
Yeah. What do you mean? What are you gonna
and
do?
she just seems to be getting hotter as she gets older. I
Mhm.
just don't understand how that's possible. And you
Or
look at like a
Susan
Jennifer,
Sarandon
yeah, Jennifer
for
Aniston,
Joe.
Susan Sarandon. Oh my God. Mike Falzone recently fell into a bit of a deep attraction to Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I can see that. She's definitely got that very like that quality to her.
Yeah, it's very much like, she could take care of me,
She'll
but
take
she
you
also,
under, yeah.
yeah, like she would like, and she'd also take control, and she knows what she wants. And there's something so,
She's like done
attractive.
time. Like she's
Oh
got like,
yeah, she's a tough cookie.
yeah.
And she's friends with Snoop Dogg, and so she's cool. You can tell she's cool, and she can hang. And there's something so cool about that like as they age, they get cooler, they get hotter.
Yeah.
And not necessarily like she isn't like, this like sexy, she isn't presenting as like this sex symbol, this sexy person, but the personality and the way that they
Hmm.
present themselves is sexy.
It's like BDE,
What's that?
big D energy.
Oh my God.
Remember that?
Yes. What could it be? Big cougar
I'm
energy,
glad people aren't
BCE.
saying big dick energy all the time. That was one of those that got kind of old kind of quick. Kind of
I
like the chill guy
know.
meme.
I
Get out of
know.
here.
Well, we need the thing is like, this whole like obsession with the size of the penis and like, and penises being like this, attached to your masculinity it's really like toxic.
I disagree.
I think you think it's helpful.
I think it's really helpful and
It's
good for
helpful.
people.
Okay, I have a question about Europe really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, please. I am
and-
now an expert, so you can ask me anything you want.
Oh
I'm a
my
world
God.
traveler. Doesn't make me better than other people. Okay, it doesn't make me better than other people. It doesn't make me better than other people.
No, it doesn't make you better than other people, but it makes you
Better
than a lot of people.
than a lot of people.
By the way, today is Philip DeFranco's birthday.
Oh, dang it!
I know. Did you send him a happy birthday card?
Oh,
It's
what
okay.
if I called him?
Let's get him on the show right now. Let's call him right now.
What an insane thing to do. I just want to say happy birthday, man.
You're on the Valleycast. Hey, man.
Hey, happy birthday.
I think he'd hate that.
I think he would very much.
I think he'd hate
yeah.
it so much.
I would hate that. I would hate us for that too.
Anyway, so my question about Europe is, I'm a consumer. I am a consumer, and I consume, man, because I am part of the guinea pig, brainwashed 80s
Yep.
kid, timeline where they were just testing out like how do we brainwash the fuck out of these people so that they are consumers for life.
Yep, and they nailed it.
They fucking nailed it, dude. I fucking love McDonald's, and I fucking
Same.
love, like I love all this shit. I love Disney. I love all these brands. Look at these fucking toys and shit I have in the background. And they really fucking did. They made consumers for life. And not only did they make consumers for life, they brainwashed our generation so well that we've also created new consumers, baby consumer. We are spawning new consumers for life because they released the new Ghostbusters movie. And if I've got 3 kids, I'm going to take those kids to see that. And then I'm going to be like, I fucking love this shit. And don't you love being at a certain age and being like, my dad loved that shit. My dad loves that shit. It's just, it's perfect. They just planted the perfect little seeds in us. And so I'm just this fucking, like, I can't help it. If I wanted to disconnect from consumerism, it would take years of really hard work and a lot of money to therapists.
I think that also explains a lot of what we were talking about earlier with the face stuff.
Oh, interesting.
These people were born and raised into an environment that consumerism told them that hey, you just need a little bit more here, a little bit more there. You take this in, you're going to be fine.
You're right. And we see how glorious the lifestyles of these wealthy individuals are, and we want it so bad. And we see how easy it is to maybe become a famous person these days, or how easy it was, how much easier it was. And you grow up with these people in your face, and they're telling you this is the only way you're going to get invited to these cool parties. This is the only way you're going to get these jobs, is if you're pretty and you have beautiful bright white teeth and perfect complexion. And you're right, man. It's a different kind of brainwashing and consumerism. So very interesting. Anyway, I can't wait to see the documentary about it, or if there's already are. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. But anyway, my question is, as a consumer, did you try any fast food places while you were in Europe? Steve, was there a curiosity, and did you want to try these things?
Steve, I can't believe it's this late in the chat and we're just now bringing this up. That was like the main thing besides the Freud Museum that I wanted to do.
I love it. I love it. That would be my number one priority. I'd be like, I want some fucking German McDonald's. I want to know what the fuck. I want a Royale with cheese.
Yep. So I did one earlier this year. I did Belfast, and Belfast McDonald's was really good.
Did you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in these places, or did you?
One.
Okay. So, but you saw the options available.
the quality of the food at McDonald's was better in Belfast for sure than we have. I mean,
I
like,
keep hearing this.
genuinely tasted so much. Still McDonald's, but like, sometimes you go to McDonald's here and it's like you don't know what you're gonna get, and
Yeah,
sometimes it's like every once in a while it's popping off, and then most of the time it's like, oh, this is terrible. But
yeah,
the bread will be a little stale or
right.
gummy or whatever. The bread was so much better. The meat was so much better. I
Oh
didn't
my
get any
God.
McDonald's in Dublin because it was closed, but I got another thing called Super Mac. They took me to Super Mac because I really wanted the McDonald's, but it was closed.
What's
Super Mac
Super
is,
Mac?
I think it's Super Max. It's like kind of it's a chain that's like McDonald's, but different. And they have like the equivalent, but it had like barbecue sauce on it. It was pretty good.
Whoa.
Well, it wasn't McDonald's. And then we went to London. I ordered McDonald's there. Not good. No better than ours.
Okay. I heard London gets a lot of shit for their food in general.
Yeah, they did. I thought their food was pretty good. So then we were in Vienna, and I was like, we were right down the street from a McDonald's. And so I'm going to find it for you.
Oh, I
I
can't
did a
wait.
short video where I test out the food.
Oh my God. Do you want to send it to me and I'll edit it into the episode, or do you want to just
Hey,
show a
yeah,
little
okay.
bit of it?
It's pretty like I intentionally was like, this is going to be really boring.
Okay. Just give me like a 30-second clip and I can throw it in or something. Or like, whatever you're going to show me, send me that bit of it.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a little bit of this. And first of all, here is a picture of me waiting for my food.
Oh my God, look at you all bundled up.
So cold, waiting for it, and did the like so quick, right? All right, so here we go. Hi everybody, welcome back to my travel vlog. Elliott here, and as you all know, I am in Vienna, Australia. Myself some McDonald's. So.
Oh, this is great. This is exactly the content I want.
And it's nice. I'm impressed with the McDonald's in London. Okay.
Are you in your hotel here, or where are you?
Yeah, hotel.
Okay.
McDonald's.
You would never be able to do this in public.
No.
It wasn't open, so I got Super Mac, and that was really good too. Different, very different. Anyway.
Wait, so that's Super Mac right there?
No, this is McDonald's, but I was talking about.
You were just talking about it. Okay.
Double cheeseburger. So, which would you like me to start with first?
Ooh, double cheeseburger.
Right, you're correct.
Oh, okay, great.
So I'm curious if this is going to taste.
Fries were excellent, dude.
Really? So it's just the oil or something?
I think it is. It's the whatever the beef.
Greasier, I think. Greasier.
Was it warm?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, send me that little clip. Just chop out a little clip of that and I'll add it in there. Damn, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
so
awesome.
jealous. Did you try? So you didn't really venture. Was there anything interesting on the menu where you were like, ugh, I don't want to do, like, was there a sausage thing or something? Or like,
I did that in, I think it was in Belfast. They had like mozzarella balls.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that,
okay.
Cool. This one I just went for a tried and true.
That's good too. Yeah.
Go to. But we did also go into a McCafe. Which they had a separate one attached to the McDonald's.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I want to know what these desserts are like, because it was like really beautiful little desserts, and they weren't that great, but it was still, pretty fun.
Tasted like mass-produced stuff, regardless of where you were.
It wasn't bad. Definitely like not like a Vienna dessert, but the fries, dude. Like when we get fries, you don't have that grease stain on the bag.
Yeah, no,
and
you
this
don't.
was like full on. I'm blanking on what they cook it in. They used to do it here, and then
it's like beef. It's like beef fat or something, or like something like that.
Yeah,
or like probably lard. They probably use lard.
Yeah, I think there's a word, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, way better. The bread, like you could actually taste the bread instead of like a sweetness to it.
Because the bread is just like, it just feels like a delivery method at this point for the ingredients.
The speed at which they gave it to me and the politeness and the care of the assembly of the burger was really crazy. Like it was not like a commercial pretty, but like way better than the ones you get
than like
here.
The slapped on shit from the college students that are just like
grinded it.
Yeah,
before.
or like the buns like way over here, and the meat and the cheese, half the cheese is stuck to the wrapper,
it
and
tears off the bread, and then you gotta
bad
like
news.
yeah.
Bad news. That's worthy of calling corporate and having that particular location shut down.
Absolutely.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad we got to take a little trip.
Thanks for bringing that up.
We got to join you on your. Yeah, I mean that's again, as a consumer, these are the things that I'm more concerned about than any of the the nice things you did in museums. Just boring,
Art, yeah, no, I very much feel the same way because I do love McDonald's, and yeah, it is. I just given up on the idea that I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you've already. Yeah, we have to give up. We have to give up on trying to abandon these things that are literally programmed into our DNA at this point.
What are we gonna do? I'm never gonna understand that the burger is a cow. I'm not, because I ate the burger before I learned the word cow.
Dude, and we were even like brainwashed with shit like the cow is happy to be eaten by by us. It's talking to us. It's like, well, I don't mind this. I love McDonald's. Eat me. And it's like, okay, buddy.
Was that did they do that? Was that when they made the cow?
Well, think about it. Think about how like cartoon cows were like a thing, like and how it was like none of them were expressing their disapproval of what happens to them.
Yeah, I know. It's hopeless. We need to.
It's like they want us to be like the food is our friends. Cows are friends, not food. But it's like, the cow that we.
But I'm like, that's food.
Yeah, the cow we befriended was like accepting of its food life. Its life that it was meant to be food.
Yeah, it wanted this.
Yeah. Just like we've accepted that our lives we are meant to be consumers.
Yeah.
And that's our purpose, Our purpose is to be consumers, so we leaned into the consumerism.
And it's not cognitive dissonance if I just don't think about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Thanks, everybody.
Or talk about it. So happy birthday to Philip DeFranco.
Happy birthday, Phil.
And so glad you're back, Elliott. And
happy birthday to Heather, Joe's
wife.
I think they're having fun. That's why Joe is out today, folks. He's doing some birthday stuff.
He's doing more birthday stuff. And it was my girlfriend's birthday also this past week on Wednesday. And it's just birthdays everywhere. Oh, have you seen Wicked?
No. Did you like it?
I have not seen it yet, but are you seeing what people are saying?
I've heard it's really good, and
I'm hearing
sold out,
dude. Yeah, it's like impossible to see it.
Yeah, we couldn't get tickets like for anything. Grace was like, "There's no theaters that have any seats available."
But I've been seeing people that don't normally post about like movies and stuff, posting these like well thought out like explanations of how it's like a spectacle, and it made them feel things they haven't felt, and they've never seen a movie like this, and it's just like universally being accepted as this like kind of like movie savior. It's just like a good fucking movie, and I'm just so excited to see it.
I'm now more excited. I watched a movie on a plane called Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet. What did you think of that?
I think you should watch it. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I know. I keep being told that I need to see it, and I like that guy. That's the star of that movie. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Highly recommend. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been fun, Steve. Thank you for having me. Yes, it's been
very fun. I'm glad you're back, and I
can't
wait
for holding
to get
down
Joe
the
back.
fort.
Yeah, dude, you do it all the time. We do it for each other, When you need it, we were there, and when I need it, you're there, and you need, and I need, and